So after an event has occurred, if a person talks to somebody else, gets new information from the media, in some way is exposed to new information or post-event information, that can supplement the memory, it can add to the memory or distort the memory or transform the memory in some way. And we call that phenomenon the misinformation effect. When new information becomes available and it's misleading, it can contaminate the recollection. One example of a study that shows that post-event information can contaminate memory is a study that we did in which we showed people a simulated accident in which a car goes through a stop sign at the intersection. Later on, we questioned some of our witnesses in a misleading way. We asked them a leading question that suggested it was a yield sign, not a stop sign. And what we found is that under certain conditions, as many as 80% of our subjects would claim that they saw the scene with the yield sign instead of the stop sign. That this misleading question could alter people's recollection for the sign that they actually saw at that intersection. And this is an example of how misleading post-event information can contaminate somebody's recollection, can change the memory for a detail about an event that the person actually did witness. Now, in later studies, we went even further. I and other psychologists began to ask whether you couldn't plant entirely false memories in the mind of someone for something that didn't happen. And we developed a method where we convinced people that they had an experience as a child that would have been at least mildly traumatic if it had happened. We told our subjects that we had talked to their parents or their older siblings and that we had found out that certain things happened to them when they were children. And we then fed them some true experiences, things that really did happen according to the parents. And then we fed them the false information. You were lost in a shopping mall when you were 6 years old. It was a particular shopping mall. You were with your parents. You were frightened. You were crying. You were lost for an extended time. An elderly woman found you and brought you back to the family. And we were able, through 3 suggestive interviews, to convince about a quarter of our sample that they had had this experience that we had completely made up with the help of their family members. So with this Lost in the Mall study, we were able to show that you could not just change a detail here and there in a memory, but you could actually plant an entirely false memory in the mind of someone for something that didn't happen.